Ever feel like, like you're just battling these like forces completely outside your control?
Oh, yeah.
Like something's, you know, shaping your destiny, but you don't even know what it is?
Definitely.
Well, the ancient Greeks, they felt that way too.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this, whole pantheon of gods to try to
Yeah.
explain it all.
Right.
So today we're taking a deep dive
Okay.
into the most powerful of them all.
Zeus.
Zeus, king of the gods.
The king of the gods, exactly.
It's really fascinating to me how these ancient myths
Yeah.
weren't just like, stories for them. They were like a way to try to grapple with the big questions, life
Yeah.
and death and fate.
Yeah.
And Zeus, with all his power
Yeah.
and sometimes unpredictable nature,
Yeah.
he kind of represented both sides of that coin.
Right.
The awe-inspiring and the kind of terrifying aspects of the cosmos.
Yes. And we have got a stack of incredible sources here.
Okay.
Ancient texts, archaeological findings.
Even interpretations from throughout history.
Right.
Our mission.
Yeah.
To uncover the real Zeus, not just the lightning bolt wielding characters.
Right. Get past the stereotype.
Exactly. Did you know that his origin story might actually stretch back even further than ancient Greece?
Oh, really?
Yeah, to like maybe Proto-Indo-European sky god.
That's pretty ancient.
Talk about ancient roots.
Yeah.
So Zeus's story, it's really a story about family drama.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking like,
All right. Lay it on me.
rivaling any modern soap opera.
Okay.
So imagine this. His grandfather, Uranus, imprisons
Oh, wow.
his own monstrous children,
Okay.
the Hecatones,
Hecatomachine.
with their 100 hands each, and the fearsome Cyclops.
The Cyclops, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we're already off to a good start.
And then comes Kronos,
Okay.
Zeus's father,
Okay.
who takes over by, well, let's
Oh.
just say he took drastic measures
Oh, boy.
to deal with dear old dad. But the cycle of, these power struggles,
Yeah.
it doesn't end there.
Of course not. It's a Greek myth.
Kronos gets hit with a prophecy. His own children will overthrow him.
Oh, no. Classic.
So what does he do?
What does he do?
He swallows them whole.
Oh, my goodness.
Talk about,
That's a solution.
yeah,
Not a good one, but
extreme.
yeah.
So this act of, devouring his offspring, it wasn't just about like fear of prophecy.
Right.
It was symbolic. He was trying to contain and control the future,
Oh, I see.
prevent that inevitable transfer of power
Yeah.
to the next generation.
It makes sense.
Luckily for Zeus,
Yeah.
his mother Rhea,
Okay.
she outsmarted Kronos. She sneaked him away
Oh, wow.
to safety.
Okay.
So Zeus grows up,
Yeah.
and guess what?
What?
He leads a rebellion
Of course.
against his father,
Yeah.
frees his siblings who,
Yeah, you gotta free the siblings.
let's just say, had an interesting journey
Yeah, I bet. I can only imagine.
back to the world.
Yeah, after being swallowed and all that.
Exactly.
So this clash of the Titans, this is the Titanomachy.
Yes.
It wasn't just, a family feud.
Right.
This was like a battle for cosmic dominance.
Exactly.
Imagine these massive beings
Yeah.
with unimaginable power just clashing
Oh, yeah.
in a struggle that would literally determine the order of the universe.
And to win this epic battle,
Yeah.
Zeus had to unleash some truly terrifying creatures.
Okay. Like what?
We're talking the Cyclops now fighting on his side,
Okay.
and the 100-handers
Right.
whose might could shake the earth itself.
Wow.
Makes you wonder what kind of leader
Yeah.
would risk unleashing such forces.
That's a good question. Yeah. What does that say about Zeus?
So there are different accounts of how Zeus actually becomes king.
Okay.
Some say he won by drawing lots
Oh, wow.
with his brothers Poseidon and Hades,
Okay.
dividing the cosmos among themselves.
So like a cosmic lottery?
Like a cosmic lottery, yeah.
Wow.
Others suggest he just seized power,
Okay.
or maybe even had to fight another epic battle
Another one?
called the Gigantomachy
The Gigantomachy.
to secure his rule.
Wow.
So we have Zeus the warrior,
Yeah.
the victor,
Mm-hmm.
the king,
Yeah.
but this is just the beginning
Okay.
of his story,
Ah.
as we'll see.
Yeah.
Zeus was also a god of contradictions, powerful and strategic,
Mm-hmm.
but also driven by these passions and desires
Okay.
that had like a profound impact
Yeah.
on the entire Greek pantheon.
I'm intrigued. I want to hear more.
Let's dive in.
Okay.
This brutal battle to be top dog,
Yeah.
it reveals a key aspect of Zeus's character,
Okay.
this unwavering pursuit of power.
Right.
But with power comes temptation.
Oh, yeah.
And Zeus's emotional life was as tumultuous as his, rise to power.
Indeed, Zeus's personal life was, shall we say, complex.
Okay.
He had 7 wives,
They have wives.
with Hera, the goddess of marriage, ironically being his last.
And those were just the official unions.
Exactly.
That's not even counting all the affairs with goddesses and mortal women.
Yeah.
Talk about a busy social calendar.
The busy guy, but these weren't just like meaningless flings.
Right.
These relationships actually shaped the entire Greek pantheon.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. Heracles, the ultimate symbol of like strength and heroism.
Right.
He was a son of Zeus.
Okay.
Persephone, queen of the underworld.
Yeah.
His daughter, Arceus, the god of war. Apollo, the god of music and light.
Okay.
Artemis, goddess of the hunt. Hermes, the messenger god.
Yeah.
Dionysus, the god of wine and revelry.
Wow.
All children of Zeus.
It's like this giant divine family tree.
It is.
With Zeus right there at the top.
Yeah.
His offspring influencing every aspect of Greek life and mythology.
And these affairs, they weren't always just, simple romances.
Right.
Sometimes there were more strategic motives at play.
Like what?
Like his union with Menedis, a goddess known for her wisdom. This was said to be motivated by a prophecy.
A prophecy.
Yeah, their child would be incredibly powerful.
And what does Zeus do?
He swallows Metis whole,
Oh my God.
trying to control fate again
Another swallower.
to prevent being overthrown by his own child.
Wow, history repeats itself.
Exactly. But as we know, fate finds a way.
Right.
Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare,
Yeah.
springs fully formed from Zeus's head.
Talk about a headache.
Oh, yeah, I can
It
imagine.
makes you wonder if Athena might still fulfill that prophecy somehow.
Right. Was swallowing Metis just delaying the inevitable?
Yeah.
Or did it shape Athena's destiny in ways Zeus never even imagined?
It's a question that highlights, this
Yeah.
complex interplay
Right.
between fate and free will.
Yeah.
A theme that runs throughout Greek mythology.
Absolutely. Even the most powerful god couldn't
Yeah.
completely escape the threads of destiny.
And speaking of defying fate,
Okay.
there's the story of Prometheus,
Prometheus, right?
the Titan who dared to trick Zeus
Oh,
and give fire to humanity.
that's bold.
Talk about a bold move.
Yeah.
So Prometheus's defiance and his punishment,
Yeah.
having his liver eaten by an eagle daily.
Every day. Ouch.
That's rough. That shows us the darker side of Zeus's power.
Right.
He wasn't just, a benevolent sky god.
Mhm.
He was a powerful ruler
Yeah.
who demanded obedience
Right.
and punished those who challenged him.
That's a tough ruler.
And this punishment, it had ripple effects,
Okay.
led to the creation of Pandora's box.
Oh, wow. Pandora's box.
Unleashing all sorts of evils into the world.
Right. Right.
It's like the ancient Greek version of don't shoot the messenger.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it raises an interesting question.
Yeah.
Were these evils always going to be part of the human experience?
Right.
Or were they a consequence of, the god's actions?
Hmm.
Does this myth suggest that human suffering
Yeah.
is somehow tied to the divine realm?
That's a deep question.
It's a question that I think must have weighed heavily
Yeah.
on the minds of the ancient Greeks,
Right.
who lived in a world where the gods weren't just, mythical figures.
Right.
They were a real and present force in their lives.
And this brings us to the question
Yes.
of how the Greeks actually worshipped Zeus,
Yeah.
even though he was king of the gods.
Right.
His worship wasn't uniform across all of Greece.
You mean different cities and regions had their own unique ways of honoring him?
Exactly. Take the Oracle of Zeus at Dodona.
Okay.
It was one of the oldest and most revered oracles in ancient Greece.
Okay.
But instead of consulting statues or priests,
Yeah.
people seeking Zeus's guidance,
Yeah.
listen to the rustling of leaves in a sacred oak tree.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Waiting for the wind to whisper Zeus's answer through the leaves.
Right.
What does this tell us about how the Greeks perceived divine communication?
It suggests a more nuanced understanding
Yeah.
of how the divine interacted with the human world.
Okay.
It wasn't always these grand pronouncements or dramatic interventions. Sometimes it was through subtle signs
Yeah.
and natural phenomena.
So even in a world ruled by gods,
Yeah.
the Greeks recognized, the mysteries and complexities of the universe,
Absolutely.
the ways the divine could manifest
Right.
in unexpected and sometimes even elusive ways.
Exactly. And while Dodona shows us one form of Zeus worship,
Okay.
we can't forget the impact
Yeah.
of the grand temples and sanctuaries dedicated to him,
Okay.
particularly the colossal statue of Zeus at Olympia.
Ah, yes. The statue
Yeah.
considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
Exactly.
It must have been an awe-inspiring sight.
Imagine a statue so massive,
Yeah.
made of ivory and gold,
Wow.
that it barely fit inside the temple.
That's huge.
It was meant to show you the overwhelming power and majesty of Zeus,
Right.
this larger-than-life figure
Yeah.
who commanded the heavens and shaped the destiny of mortals.
It must have left visitors feeling pretty small.
Yeah, insignificant
Yeah.
in the presence of such divine power.
Exactly. It was this visual reminder
Right.
of the hierarchy of the cosmos,
Exactly.
with Zeus reigning supreme atop Mount Olympus.
On his throne.
And this imagery,
Yeah.
this seated posture of authority,
Yeah.
it wasn't limited to depictions of just Zeus.
Right.
It was used to represent other powerful figures too.
Like who?
Like Deimos,
Yeah.
the personification of the Athenian people.
Oh, wow. So the image of Zeus,
Yeah.
king of the gods,
Yeah.
became a symbol of power and authority that transcended just the divine
Yeah.
and influenced how the Greeks viewed their own leaders.
So fascinating how these myths weren't just stories.
Right.
They were deeply intertwined with the
Yeah.
social and political and artistic expressions of ancient Greek culture.
They shaped how the Greeks saw themselves,
Right.
their place in the world, their relationship with power.
Power both human and divine.
Exactly.
And speaking of depictions, there are also statues of Zeus standing,
Oh, okay.
sometimes with an outstretched arm as if about to hurl his thunderbolt. Those standing figures capture a different side of Zeus,
What's that?
one that emphasizes his dynamism and power as a warrior and a force of nature.
Yeah, I see that.
He wasn't just this distant, unapproachable deity sitting on a throne.
Right.
He was an active force in the world,
Mm-hmm.
capable of both creation and destruction.
So these different artistic interpretations,
Yeah.
they show the complex and multifaceted nature of Zeus.
He was a king,
Yeah.
a warrior, a father, a lover, sometimes even a trickster.
Oh, wow, a trickster too.
That's like the ancient Greeks.
Yeah.
They were trying to capture all these different sides of his personality, all the
Mhm.
contradictions and complexities that
Yeah.
made him such a compelling and enduring figure.
And that's what makes studying these myths so interesting.
Yeah.
They give us a glimpse into how the ancient Greeks viewed their gods,
Right.
not as one-dimensional figures,
Yeah.
but as complex beings with strengths and weaknesses and a whole range of emotions.
Speaking of emotions, I've always been intrigued by the stories of Zeus's many affairs.
The affairs, right?
It seems like he was always falling for someone new.
Yeah, a new goddess, a nymph, even a mortal woman.
Well, remember these myths.
Right.
They weren't just about romance.
Yeah.
They often explain the origins of heroes, demigods,
Oh, yeah.
even entire cities.
Entire cities,
Wow.
like Heracles, for example.
Heracles.
The
Wow.
son of Zeus and Alcmene.
Alcmene, a mortal woman.
Talk about an overachieving offspring.
Right? His legendary strength and his epic adventures.
Yeah.
All thanks to his divine parentage.
And then there's Perseus,
Perseus.
another son of Zeus,
Okay.
who famously slew Medusa.
Medusa.
Wait, Medusa.
Yeah.
The lady with snakes for hair.
Yeah, you got it.
That's one scary mother-in-law.
Makes family gatherings a bit more tense.
But even these stories that seem outlandish or fantastical,
Yeah.
they were meaningful to the ancient Greeks.
You what?
They helped them make sense of the world,
Right.
explain natural phenomena,
Mhm.
grapple with, life, death, destiny. The big questions.
The big questions, yeah.
They were connecting with the universe,
Yeah.
understanding their place in it all.
And Zeus, as the king of the gods,
Yeah.
at the center of it all.
He represented this ultimate power,
Yeah.
the force that controlled the heavens, the weather,
Right.
even the fate of mortals.
Which is kind of scary when you think about it. Like, what if you accidentally, pissed off Zeus? You could get a lightning bolt to the head.
Right. They believed the gods could intervene in their lives, for
Yeah.
good or for bad.
So they were constantly trying to stay on his good side,
Exactly.
hoping to avoid his wrath.
Yeah.
Maybe even earn his favor.
It was like living under the rule
Right.
of a very powerful,
Yeah.
but also very unpredictable king.
Yes, this theme
Yeah.
of this tension between human agency and divine will.
Right. The idea that we have some control,
Yeah.
but ultimately we're subject to the wings of the gods.
Sobering thought. But also kind of exciting.
How
Like, who knows what adventures or misadventures
Hmm.
await us when the gods are involved?
And with a god like Zeus,
Yeah.
you can be sure there'll be plenty of both.
Okay, so we've talked about Zeus's family drama,
Yeah.
his rise to power,
Mm-hmm.
his, shall we say, active love life,
Right.
and even his less than stellar behavior with Prometheus.
Right, we've covered a lot of ground.
We've explored how the Greeks worshipped him,
Yeah.
the different ways he was depicted in art,
Mm-hmm.
and the impact his stories had on their understanding of the world.
Absolutely.
But what about the legacy of Zeus?
Okay.
I mean, this is a god whose name is still instantly recognizable
He is.
thousands of years later.
Yeah, why do you think his story has resonated for so long?
That's a great question.
I think it speaks to this primal human fascination with
Yeah.
power. He's like the ultimate alpha male,
Right.
the king of the gods.
Yeah.
The one who controls the forces of nature.
He's like the OG superhero,
He is.
but with way more baggage.
Exactly. And that's another reason why he's so compelling.
Okay.
He's not perfect.
Right.
He's flawed. He makes mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He's driven by passion and desire.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, he's a reflection of our own human weaknesses.
It's like we can see ourselves in him,
Right.
even though he's this god.
Yeah. With superhuman abilities.
Yeah, and that relatability,
Mm-hmm.
that sense that even the most powerful beings
Right. Yeah.
are subject to the same flaws and desires.
Right.
That's what makes his story so enduring.
And let's be honest.
Yeah,
The myths about Zeus are just entertaining.
they are.
There's drama, adventure, romance, betrayal, even some pretty crazy disguises.
It's like a reality TV show,
It is.
but with gods and goddesses instead of, regular people.
Definitely a soap opera element to these stories.
Yeah.
That's part of their appeal.
They're timeless.
They are.
These myths have been told and retold for centuries.
Yeah.
And they continue to inspire artists, writers, filmmakers.
Right? It's a testament to the power of storytelling
Yeah.
and this enduring fascination with
Yeah.
these ancient myths.
They offer a glimpse into another world.
They do.
A world where the impossible is possible.
Right.
And where even the gods are subject to the same things that we are.
Absolutely. It's like a window into the human psyche.
Right.
Our fears, our desires, our quest for meaning.
And Zeus, as the king of the gods,
Yeah.
stands right at the heart of that quest.
He embodies both the best and worst of humanity.
Yeah.
The power we crave and the flaws we try to overcome.
So what does this all mean?
That's a good question.
What can we learn from the story of Zeus?
Right.
This complex and contradictory figure
Yeah.
who still fascinates us
Yeah.
thousands of years later.
That's a question each of us has to answer for ourselves.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Leave them wanting more.
But I think it's safe to say that Zeus's legacy,
Yeah.
it's a reminder that power, even divine power,
Yeah.
is a double-edged sword. It can be used for good or for ill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to each of us to decide how we use the power we have.
That's a pretty profound takeaway.
It is.
From a deep dive into Greek mythology.
Right.
Who knew that hanging out with Zeus
Yeah.
could be so thought-provoking?
Well, that's the beauty of these deep dives.
Yeah.
They're not just about learning facts.
Right.
They're about exploring ideas, challenging assumptions,
Mm-hmm.
and connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
It's like we're uncovering these hidden layers of meaning,
Exactly.
peeling back the centuries
Yeah.
to find these timeless truths about human nature
Right.
and the world we live in.
Absolutely. And who knows what other insights await us.
Yeah, as we continue to explore.
Right. There's so much more to uncover.
We haven't even talked about Zeus's role in the Trojan War.
Oh, right. The Trojan War.
His connection to the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Or the countless other myths of legends that feature this larger-than-life god.
We've just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But I think we've got a good understanding now
Yeah.
of who Zeus was, what he represented to the ancient Greeks,
Yeah.
and why his story still resonates with us today.
So we've explored Zeus's, rise to power,
Right.
his complex personality, and his lasting legacy.
Yeah.
But one question keeps swirling in my mind.
Okay, what's that?
Just how powerful was Zeus?
Okay.
I mean, we've heard about, the epic battles, his
Right.
control over the heavens.
Yeah.
But were there any limits to his might?
It's a question that intrigued the ancient Greeks, too.
Okay.
They saw him as the king of the gods, the ultimate authority on Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
But even he was subject to certain cosmic forces.
So you mean there were beings
Yeah.
that even Zeus couldn't control?
There were.
Who were they?
Imagine these three shadowy figures
Okay.
weaving the threads of destiny for gods and mortals alike.
Okay.
These were the Moirai, the Fates.
The fates?
And their word was law.
So even Zeus couldn't defy fate. Wow.
It makes you think about the nature of power itself.
Right. Was Zeus truly all-powerful?
Yeah.
If he couldn't control his own destiny?
Or the destiny of others.
It's a paradox
It is.
that highlights, this tension between divine power and cosmic order.
Right. The Greeks believed in a universe
Yeah.
governed by these fundamental laws.
Right.
And even the gods had to operate within those boundaries.
It's a humbling thought.
It is.
If even Zeus was bound by fate, what did that mean for, the sacrifices and offerings
Right.
the Greeks made to him?
Yeah, good question.
Were they just gestures of appeasement?
Like trying to sway a god
Yeah.
who ultimately couldn't control the big picture?
Maybe those offerings were about something more
Yeah.
than just seeking favors
Right.
or avoiding divine wrath.
Maybe it was a way for them to acknowledge
Okay.
the limits of human agency,
Okay.
to accept their place in a universe
Right.
where even the most powerful beings were subject to a greater cosmic order.
It makes you think about, the human desire for control.
Yeah.
This need to believe we can influence things, even when faced with forces beyond our grasp.
Right.
Did the Greeks, through their worship of Zeus,
Yeah.
find a way to reconcile this tension?
That tension between free will and destiny.
Yeah, it's a question.
It is a big one.
That, I think, takes us to the heart of Greek mythology.
To the heart of the human condition, even.
And we see this struggle
Yeah.
reflected in the story of Prometheus,
Prometheus.
who defied Zeus to bring fire to humanity.
Yeah, that act of rebellion.
Bold move
A bold assertion of human agency.
against divine authority.
And it cost him?
It chained to a rock,
Right.
his liver eternally devoured.
Ouch, every day.
He became a symbol of human resilience,
Yeah.
but also the consequences of challenging the established order.
Even the divine order.
But his story also resonated with the Greeks
Yeah, why is that?
because it spoke to their yearning for knowledge, for progress, for pushing boundaries.
Even in a world seemingly ruled by these capricious gods.
It's like the ancient Greeks were using these myths
Right.
to grapple with their own sense of mortality,
Yeah.
explore the limits of human potential.
In a world governed by powerful and unpredictable forces.
And who better to embody that struggle
Right.
than Zeus?
The king of the gods.
Yeah, the ultimate symbol
Mm-hmm.
of both power and vulnerability.
He's a force of nature, a master strategist, a loving father, a vengeful god.
All of that rolled into one.
He was a reflection of ourselves.
Yeah.
With all our contradictions and complexity.
And through his triumphs and failures,
Yeah.
his loves and losses,
Mm-hmm.
his battles and compromises.
Zeus reminds us
Right.
that power is a double-edged sword.
It can be used for good or for ill.
And it's up to us to decide how we wield it.
Such an incredible journey.
It has been.
This deep dive, we've
Delved into Greek mythology.
explored Zeus's origins, his rise, his personality, his legacy.
We've uncovered these stories that shape the ancient Greek worldview.
Stories that still resonate with us today.
Absolutely, offering insights into power, fate, and the human condition.
So if you've enjoyed this exploration of Zeus,
Yeah.
be sure to subscribe to The Deep Dive.
For more fascinating journeys,
We'll be back soon with more deep dives
unearthing hidden knowledge
and sparking new ways of thinking.
about the world around us.
Until then, keep exploring
Deep questioning,
and keep seeking the wisdom
hidden within the stories.
that have shaped our collective imagination.
And remember,
Yeah.
the ancient Greeks
Yeah.
who looked up at the heavens in awe and wonder.
Yeah.
We, too, are part of a grand and ever-unfolding narrative.
Who knows what myths we're creating?
Legacies we'll leave behind.
The journey of discovery continues,
It does.
and we invite you to join us.
As we delve deeper into the mysteries that connect us all.